Professor William Liebenberg explains that as the world steps into December 2nd, a historic shift is unfolding in real time. XRP is finally decoupling from Bitcoin. For years, XRP moved almost perfectly in harmony with Bitcoin, following the same rises and falls, but in late 2025, that connection began to collapse. While Bitcoin struggles to hold the $90,000 level and faces growing downside pressure from an approaching global liquidity shock, XRP is holding above $2.20 and showing unmistakable signs of independent strength. This decoupling is not driven by hype, but by real-world utility, clearer regulation, and increasing institutional adoption. For most of modern crypto history, Bitcoin and XRP shared an extremely high correlation, often above 0.9, moving together in almost every major cycle since 2017. But in 2025, the 90-day correlation suddenly dropped below 0.5 for the first time ever. The XRP to Bitcoin trading pair broke a 6-year downtrend and moved above a critical resistance level at 0.000026. During Bitcoin's 18% crash in October 2025, XRP fell only 7% and recovered significantly faster, signaling a foundational shift in market structure. Clear proof of decoupling is visible in institutional behavior. XRP spot exchange-traded fund inflows from firms such as Bitwise, Grayscale, and Canary reached hundreds of millions of dollars at the same time Bitcoin exchange-traded funds recorded persistent outflows. Ripple Prime, a regulated brokerage for institutions, now allows large financial players to trade and custody XRP directly without interacting with Bitcoin at all. In parallel, daily active addresses and on-chain transaction volume on the XRP ledger surged between 150 and 200% throughout 2025, completely independent of Bitcoin network activity. XRP's market dominance climbed above 5.9%, while most alternative digital assets lost ground relative to Bitcoin. This shows that capital is flowing specifically into XRP rather than broadly into the crypto market. A major global liquidity shock is developing behind the scenes. The tariff war between the United States and China, together with the rapid unwinding of the Japanese yen carry trade, threatens a severe risk-off event across global markets. Central banks have very limited ammunition left after aggressive stimulus measures during 2025. More than $120 billion in over-leveraged crypto perpetual futures now sit vulnerable to cascading liquidation, a scenario analysts such as Arthur Hayes and Raoul Pal warn could drag Bitcoin down toward the $72,000 to $80,000 zone. XRP, however, stands uniquely positioned to resist this form of shock. Cross-border payments continue even when investors flee riskier markets, meaning demand for XRP's utility remains stable while speculative assets decline. RippleNet continues processing real commercial volume for banks, remittance firms, and financial institutions. On-demand liquidity usage surged during the October crash when traditional fiat settlement rails froze. After the 2025 settlement with the United States Securities and Exchange Commission, XRP is now explicitly classified as a non-security in the United States, giving institutions confidence to engage without regulatory uncertainty. Institutional tools such as regulated custody, exchange-traded funds, and prime brokerage now create new fiat gateways that bypass Bitcoin entirely. These channels give XRP direct access to institutional capital in ways that Bitcoin cannot match during a risk-off period. Professor Liebenberg concludes that the day XRP breaks free from Bitcoin has finally arrived. While a painful global liquidity event is likely to drag Bitcoin and other speculative digital assets sharply lower, XRP's expanding role as a genuine global settlement instrument gives it remarkable resilience. The chains of correlation are breaking. When the dust settles, XRP will stand stronger than ever, driven by real-world use rather than speculation. For the first time in history, Bitcoin can fall while XRP rises, and that future is no longer approaching. It is already here. A symbolic cultural moment even surfaced when fans pointed out a scene from The Simpsons where XRP overtakes Bitcoin on a chart, a fictional prediction that now appears less unrealistic than ever before. A major black swan event is coming, and when it arrives, every monetary unit on Earth will reveal its true nature. Before we continue this timeline, what do you believe will happen first? Bitcoin collapsing under global pressure, or XRP rising on the strength of its real-world utility?